Las 3 de la tarde y seguimos en Venue Logistics. Aquí no podemos parar porque, como yo digo, la logística marca el ritmo del mundo, por lo tanto, somos la música que mueve el mundo de la economía que más queremos. Vamos, estoy a punto de poderme bailar en cualquier momento. Vamos ahora a marcar tendencias. En el siguiente panel, llamado BTRENDY, vamos a hablar de lo que se lleva. También en el mundo de la logística hay tendencias. De hecho, los que nos habéis seguido a lo largo de los diferentes paneles y debates en Venue Logistics ya hemos ido apuntando, ¿no?, hacia dónde van esas tendencias en el sector de la logística y que serán claves a corto y medio plazo. Quedaros con estos 3 adjetivos, ponerles un hashtag delante porque los vais a necesitar: sostenible, digital y colaborativo. Sostenible, ¿por qué? Pues porque queremos que el mundo nos dure muchos años, ¿eh? Hemos hablado aquí del New Green Deal y de muchas cosas. Digital, pues también para no perder ninguna de las oportunidades en esta quinta ya revolución industrial que apunta. Y colaborativa, claro, porque hemos aprendido que si nos comunicamos bien y nos apoyamos buscando el beneficio mutuo, pues eso que es tan importante, llegamos más lejos. Bueno, eso lo tiene clarísimo Cristina Peña, que es experta en comercio internacional, supply chain y transformación digital. Cristina, ¿a punto para el panel BTRENDY?
Ready.
Ready.
Let's go.
Pues voy a dejarte porque creo que tienes mucho tema y estás muy bien acompañada hasta ahora mismo.
Yeah, so hello everybody. That's so nice to be here in Barcelona in this economical week to present some colleagues that are experts in logistics and to have the chance to be with all of you in a new format, because this TV show is something incredible in the COVID time. We are going to talk, Joseph, Manel, we are talk about logistics and how important it is to be these 3 adjectives that Clara was saying: to be sustainable, to be digital, and to be collaborative. So she has reasons. So why to be sustainable? Because we need to look at the future, and the future comes when we are doing well today. So today will come a next future that will be the one we wish, but we need to start working today. Why to be digital? Because there are today a lot of disruptive technologies. You are very expert in this, so that will be the chance to discuss a little bit about how new technologies are going to help. They will be our tools to grow. And collaborative, that's something that today everybody's talking about. Win-win strategies, how to be working in the supply chain as a team. Today we are talking about partnerships more than competitors. We are talking about mutual support. So to talk about all this, I have 3 experts that they are coming from different areas in this sector. So first, Joseph Manel, that is the COO in Servihabitat.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi.
You are here on board, face to face. So you are going to be my friend, okay? And in remote, I am really lucky to talk with a couple of friends. Already we are all friends because we have been laughing in remote meetings before. So Zoe Harris, she's working for Impact Zones, and she's the managing director. So welcome on board.
Thank you very much, Christina. Sorry, I was muted.
And to talk also, we have Jamil Muhammad, that he's consultant and the former Minister of Transport in Jordan. So welcome.
Thank you, Christina.
Really nice to have this forum for today. We are going to divide a little bit the forum in these 3 adjectives. Okay, let's start with sustainability. So I would like to place a couple of questions in every topic, and you to tell me a little bit what's your opinion. So let's start with why to have economic, ecological, and sustainable development in transport and logistics today. So that's the first question. Also, I would like to talk about something that everybody talks, decarbonization. So how important, or how is so much useful to talk about the carbon footprint. So I think that you are the first because you are here Josep Manel?
Pues muchas gracias, Cristina. No es una pregunta sencilla hablar de sostenibilidad, de responsabilidad ecológica, de decarbonización y de hecho muchas veces yo prefiero hablar de algo mucho más sencillo anterior a todo esto, que es el concepto de eficiencia, ¿no? Muchas veces a las personas que estamos a cargo de una compañía o muchos directivos en el mundo, cuando les hablamos de responsabilidad ecológica, crecimiento sostenible o tal, pues te dirán que es algo maravilloso, pero por dentro están pensando, problemas. ¿Correcto? Con lo cual, yo prefiero siempre hablar de eficiencia, porque cuando les hablas de eficiencia, habitualmente piensan en, oportunidad de ganar más dinero. Por lo tanto, cuando somos eficientes, cuando conseguimos organizaciones más optimizadas en términos de recursos que necesitan, en términos de consumo de energía, en términos de tiempo de las personas que trabajan en esas organizaciones, equilibrio vida personal, profesional, creo que estamos contribuyendo a esa responsabilidad ecológica, a esa sostenibilidad social, partiendo de algo previo, sin ir directamente al resultado, que en algunos círculos puede asustar.
Yep. I agree. That's very good point. So let's see, Zoe Harris in remote. How is your opinion? What is your point of view?
Well, with view to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals in 2030, all sectors need to take responsibility and make a concerted effort to reach these goals. And if we're looking in terms of companies and supply chains, logistics form a very important part of the value chain, their ESG profile. So if companies are looking to enhance their ESG profile, we will have to look at sustainable logistics, smart logistics. And especially now in the light of COVID-19, we're seeing the whole landscape of global value chains changing. We're moving into an era away from globalization into nearshoring, reshoring. So supply chains are becoming shorter, but also there's a diversification of supply chains. So companies are obviously mitigating risk because of all the supply chain disruption. And this is an excellent opportunity to relook how supply chains are designed, how they are built, and how we can enhance the sustainability of supply chains, so that we are not only looking at the carbon footprint, but also looking in terms of efficiencies. So anything which, if we remodel supply chains in a way which they become more efficient, efficiency and reduction of carbon footprint actually go hand in hand. And there's also, in terms of governments, providing the infrastructure for better efficiencies within the supply chains, there's more funding available in terms of compliance with sustainability standards. So all in all, we're looking at a new normal in sustainable supply chains. So if
that's fantastic. I think that you have described really deeply. So let's go to the next speaker, Jamil Mujahed. Hello.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, managing the transport and logistics sectors can make a direct or indirect contribution toward the achievement of sustainable development goals. When transport and logistics systems are in good working conditions, they provide social and economic opportunities. The key elements, I think, in logistics chain is a transportation system. Transportation occupies 1/3 of the amount of the logistic costs, and the transportation system influences the performance of logistics system. I think one of the main aspects in logistics system is to be considered is selection and the definition of the transport model. This strategy, I think it is critical to companies succeed. Moreover, the correct choice of transport modes enables better environment and economic results also. Another interesting element of logistics is the strategy behind programming and routing of vehicles. This requires the analysis of cargo capacity and the definition and the number of routes to be calculated. The planning of these activities can lead to additional problems and costs. For I think a sustainable transport practice and logistics operation also include the use of electrical vehicles, use of strategies to define the model of transport, and mapping the energy and of a fuel consumption of the vehicle used. Planning of delivery routes, optimize of course, the reduction of the emissions of polluting gases. Without a developed transport system, logistics couldn't bring its advantage to its full play. I think a good transport system and logistic activities could provide a better logistic efficiency, reduce the operation cost, and promote, of course, the service quality.
Yeah, so that's fantastic. As a summary, I'm going to remind our audience the key elements that you have been talking about. So you have been talking about efficiency, and that's really important because further than the support to the environment, efficiency will help everybody. So it's good for everybody. So why not to use this term to provide sustainability with? Zoe, I will take for you good practices. That's fantastic, you know. So we need to copy paste good practices, and I like it. And you know, it's really important from Jamil. He was talking about the transport impact. So we need to realize that we are impacting in the environmental with the transport. So we need to be conscious of what to do and what is the less damaging way to work. So fantastic. Let's go to the following topic. Now digital. It's like sexy, you know. You say digital is sexy. I like it. So first question. I think that we should talk about today, if we are talking about disruptive technologies, there are many. So which are those that you think in logistics and transport, they are the suitable one, or those that you are moving in your business in a day-to-day? And I think that big data today is a great opportunity. So how do you think we can really get the best of this in the business? Because this is changing service, so the services and also business models. So during COVID, we have seen how business model, how even education model has changed. So everything is changing. So, Josep Manuel, your turn.
Mira, Cristina, creo que estamos evolucionando de un modelo productivo de un modelo fuerza, que digo yo, basado en poner cada vez más recursos, poner cada vez más energía, poner cada vez más gente. Estamos pasando a un modelo inteligencia, a un modelo cómo analizo la información que tengo, cómo me apoyo en las posibilidades tecnológicas para conseguir lo mismo o más consumiendo mucho menos. Y a mí siempre me gusta hacer la comparación con los, y quizá no es el foro, pero con los motores, ¿no? Con los motores de los automóviles.
Sí.
Hace pocos años para conseguir 140 caballos necesitabas 8 cilindros y consumir 12 litros a los 100. Hoy puedes conseguir más caballos con mucha menos inversión. ¿Cómo conseguimos eso? Primero, como te decía, aprovechando los avances tecnológicos.
Sí.
En mi opinión, especialmente la inteligencia artificial. Para este patrón inteligencia, yo veo dos grandes palancas donde las empresas pueden apoyarse para ser más eficientes otra vez y para focalizar mejor hacia dónde va su estrategia, cómo llegar a ella y asegurarse mayores resultados. Esos son Big Data, cómo consigo, qué información tengo disponible, cómo puedo conseguirla, cómo la trabajo para desarrollar modelos proyectivos de hacia dónde me va a llevar una cierta actividad, o modelos predictivos de qué va a pasar en un futuro o qué reacción va a tener mi cliente ante un cambio en mis productos o en mis servicios, y todo esto apoyado y impulsado por las capacidades tecnológicas y especialmente, repito, la inteligencia artificial, que creo que ya está ganando posiciones, pero en breves años va a ser un eje fundamental de cualquier negocio.
Okay, so that's fantastic artificial intelligence pushing. So that reminds me a little bit I really love science fiction.
Yeah.
So I have written a novel that is El error de Peter Brunson, so the mistake of the error of Peter Brunson, and that talks about this. So I'm really proud of
la ciencia ficción del
intervention.
pasado es el presente.
That is.
Y nuestra ciencia ficción de futuro será el futuro.
Es literatura costumbrista
today.
Okay, so let's go with Zoe. Zoe, that's your turn to talk about technology that is really powerful.
Exactly. That's a really sexy topic. I totally agree with you, Christina. Yeah. So technology is, we're entering into a new era in which technology is key. So we have to up our game in terms of introducing high levels of technology within the logistics system. There are already systems available which will hopefully be adopted soon by governments to be able to handle logistics from a customs perspective. It's a total digitalization of the whole procedure. So this has as an advantage that we're going to sufficiently or quite considerably improve efficiencies in terms of customs handling. And moreover, in terms of transparency, so good governance, because with digitalization, this will allow the whole procedure to become more transparent, and also in terms of payments, so linking to financial systems, and then we can even go further in terms of integrating blockchain technologies. So this also adds to what Joseph was speaking about in terms of big data, AI. There are huge opportunities now within the world of logistics. So this is on the one hand from the documentation and the governance handling, but on the other side, we could also look at digitalization in increasing efficiencies in terms of multimodal transportation, logistics hubs, and integrating all the different transportation modalities and optimizing capacity. So looking at, okay, which cargo ships are arriving full, which ones are departing empty, and then creating more of a shared economy in terms of logistics that different users can make use of the different forms of capacity available. So also bringing reducing the price of transportation, and also the transport movements, so which will also add to a reduction of the CO2 emissions.
Okay, so really deep into your conclusions. You have covered a lot of areas. So now your turn, Jamil.
Yeah. Thank you. I think efficiency, optimization, and the speed and timing are always been crucial in logistics and the transportation. Today, among a range of accelerating evolutions and increasingly digital environment, where digital transformation are affecting the next revolution of industry. I'm going to talk about, in my opinion, that is hardware development, like self-driving trucks and delivery drones are going to change everything we thought we knew about logistics. I think drones will be the future of logistics technology. Drones are capable of making an inventory in logistics, warehouse, transporting goods, by air and carrying out security tasks as well. We've seen in the last few months, drones have become an important tool in fighting the COVID-19 pandemic, helping to create more resilient supply chain and socially distanced delivery services. There have been attempts to utilize drones technology in different scenarios. So using this technology and logistics, I think will bring more advantages like saving in distribution costs, faster deliveries, possibility of reducing areas that are difficult to access, and reduce, of course, the airplane traffic and CO2 emissions, and help to control, of course, inventories and movement within the warehouse itself. I believe that is, and I could say that is, drones are the future of logistics technology.
So it has been a great intervention. So we are talking at the beginning about business intelligence and how important it is to have data to make predictions, to anticipate to what is coming. And I think that this is a very good point. But also when Zoe was talking, she was talking about transparency in all the, to have a good governance of on all the process. So, and that means to have blockchain. So blockchain is really important here. And also transparency and also connectivity. You were talking about connectivity. And that's a key point today. So we are connected. And that's the nice thing and the nice benefit of this digitalization. So digitalization is to have access to. And to finalize, I like the point of Jamil talking about the new technologies, but the most disruptive, like drones. So maybe for transport, but maybe for warehousing. So I think that we need to be aware of what is coming in technology. Sometimes we are in business and we are far from engineers, but they are making our tools to improve. So we need to be really tuned to technology. So let's go with the last one. So we are doing well. We are on time. So collaboration. So what's happened with collaboration that I think that we are talking today about the sharing economy, and that's something nice, but I would like to go into to know your opinions. And there is another thing that is in transport. We are talking about how difficult is the last mile, you know? So we want everything today, immediately at home. So how to get this done and be respectful with environmental, to be efficient, everything that we have been talking, but to have this today. So let's go, Josep Manuel. What's your opinion?
Bueno, yo creo que el problema de la última milla es el ejemplo perfecto para entender que hay problemas que solo con la colaboración se solventan, ¿no? Estamos en un modelo milenario de competencia, un modelo donde yo gano y tú pierdes. Y creo que para hacer más sostenible la economía y incluso para ser más ecológicamente eficientes, tenemos que evolucionar este modelo y pasar a una economía colaborativa. ¿Por qué no colaborar incluso con mi competidor? ¿Por qué no diseñar juntos cosas que puedan ser beneficiosas para todo un sector? ¿Por qué no coinvertir en nuevas ideas para solucionar según qué aspectos que tenemos todos? ¿Por qué no codiseñar o comercializar productos, y esto ya se está dando, que podamos producir entre diversos productores, ¿no? Creo que a nivel tecnológico, efectivamente, como decía Zoe, el blockchain puede ser el ejemplo o exponente de que la colaboración puede ser buena y puede ser eficiente, otra vez, a través de la tecnología. Si te fijas, el blockchain está costando como tecnología, y es más, en mi opinión, por una reticencia de los actores que tienen que estar ahí, que no por problemas de la tecnología. Sí que es cierto que hay a veces problemas legales, aspectos que no quedan bien cubiertos, pero la tecnología está ahí, pero somos reticentes los actores del mercado a utilizarla por si comparto demasiado lo que tengo en mi casa, ¿vale? O por si se descubre ese secreto mágico que tengo para hacer no sé qué, que muchas veces el de al lado lo tiene igual que tú. Por lo tanto, creo que donde tenemos que llegar en breve es a que esta colaboración, esta creatividad compartida, y hemos visto ejemplos ahora con el COVID, donde una marca de coches fabricaba respiradores en semanas, en un trabajo conjunto con médicos, creo, de un hospital de aquí de Barcelona. Este tipo de soluciones que solo se nos ocurren cuando estamos muy apretados, quizá deberíamos implantarlas en nuestro día a día y co-trabajar con otros actores del sector o de otros sectores o de otras organizaciones o organizaciones oficiales para hacer de nuestra una economía más sostenible y más productiva.
Muy bien. These multidisciplinary teams, at the end, they are giving the best. Let's go with Zoe. Zoe, what's about talking about sharing economy, last mile? What's your opinion?
Talking about sharing economy. Sorry, the audio was a bit disrupted. Within the new normal, shared economy makes total sense. It's been a buzzword for a few years, but I think now we've really moved into an era in which the sense of urgency is there, and COVID has actually accelerated the process in which we see that the old systems do no longer work. They do not make any sense anymore. So we're looking at increased efficiencies. We've had to, over the last few months, all learn to be more agile. We're trying to find our way in strategizing for the mid to long term. On the other hand, we have to be super agile right now and being creative in finding ways to remodel our businesses. Either come up with new business models or remodel businesses in which we're already operating. And therefore, there's also in terms of cash flow management, we need to be very flexible. So we're looking at flexible solutions, and that's where the shared economy comes in. So if you translate that to logistics, we're looking at shared warehousing. The shared office space was already quite a trend within commercial real estate, but also looking at shared warehousing solutions, but also looking at shared factories. So looking at building clusters of companies within the same, or manufacturers within the same industry, utilizing similar sorts of machineries. And we're looking, especially in the special economic zones, in supporting developing this kind of infrastructure to build new clusters, utilizing the same resources, and even going a step further, looking at creating some industrial symbiosis. So we recently did a project for the government of Iceland, looking at developing an eco-industrial park based upon the principle of industrial symbiosis. So looking at the one company that has a byproduct which is used as a resource by another company, and also looking at the commercial viability. So bringing the CO2 emissions down, but also building a cluster which makes sense from an economic perspective. So supporting sustainable economic growth and resilience. And this is a model which can be replicated to many other economies worldwide, also in developing countries.
Fantastic, yeah. I think that you have even given some ideas, not everybody is aware that we could do these sort of things. So I think that you were maybe inspiring many people listening to us now when you are talking about this symbiosis, to be honest. Now we go with Jamil. What's your opinion? You are the last one.
I think sharing economy is one of the models that has been grabbing headlines in the last years, using technology to allow individuals or organizations to share the access capacity of their assets, general goods or service, to maximize return. Logistic companies were among the first actually to enter the share economy, specifically third-party logistics, who had collaborated and partnered with the transportation companies to assist customers in saving time and money where shipping a product, for example, utilizing or sharing fleets, lanes, or empty miles, and sourcing empty space in warehouses. I will be talking about two kinds of share economies and logistic. One by embracing concept of space sharing from the hospitality sector. Third-party logistic can increase the productivity to cut costs in multi-customs warehouse environment. I think the concept of truly share warehousing suggests allocating access warehouses capacity on a digital sharing platform and enabling pay-per-use billing or space in a multi-customers warehouse. Another example is drawing lessons learned from the mobility and heavy industry sectors. Logistic fleets can leverage sharing business models, of course, to optimize asset utilization, to produce a new rental-free revenue stream. As we know today, it is estimated that privately owned vehicles are driven an average of 6 hours per week, which means they are parked the remaining of 162 hours. By opening up access to these underutilized vehicles using sharing a platform, I think urban residents could rent these vehicles to assist with weekend moves, household projects, and the private events even. I think sharing economy will make logistics more efficient, less impactable on the environment, and more cost effective. Yes, we are living, I think, in the age of sharing.
It has been, I love it, some wordings that you have been using in each of your speech. I love from you have been talking about teamwork, and you have been talking about creativity. That's fantastic. That's what we miss in the society, you know? So I really think you were just touching our pain. So, you know, so that's really important. I think that for the audience that is really watching us, to talk about these two things, so that's what we need today, you know. And I love from Zoe, another two words. So you were talking about flexibility. Yeah, my God. We need to start being flexible. So times are changing. So to be honest, on March 8th, I was not waiting to be this week at home for 6 months, you know? So I need to be more flexible in my mind. But you were also talking about resilience. You know, that I will resist. So we need to move. We need to be, I love resilience. That's a so beautiful wording, you know? So I love it. But if I go to Jamil, you were talking about utilization, Jamil, and that's key point for efficiency. We cannot allow to have some resources empty. So we cannot have empty tracks, empty spaces, empty. So I love your point, because we need to use what we have, because we are wasting otherwise. So I think that, to be honest, the three points of view, they are completing each other to have this vision. We covered already these 3 topics. So now is the time for questions. So I would like you to be trembling, but no, you are not trembling with the questions. So you are relaxed. So let's do one thing. I will start with one question for each of you. Okay. So I think, because the other were generic, but now I'm going to make one that I think that you are going to like, because it's your business, okay? So for example, for you, Manel.
You fear me.
You can. You will say. Okay. You are talking about being economically respectful, okay? So no matter in which business, you should do this, right?
Totalmente de acuerdo. O sea, esto es transversal a cualquier sector, a cualquier actividad, a cualquier segmento de mercado al cual te dirijas. Eso tenemos que acostumbrarnos, o incluso tenemos que trabajar a nivel social, que ser respetuoso con el medio o ser eficiente o ser energéticamente sostenible tiene que transformarse en una manera de ser, en una manera de vivir, no en una necesidad puntual. ¿Me explico?
Sí.
Y eso va a necesitar de un cambio cultural muy profundo en nuestras sociedades, muy profundo, que creo que ya se está produciendo, tengo que decir, creo que ya se está produciendo, pero, repito, esto va a ser una manera de concebir nuestra vida, no una necesidad puntual o incluso algo que tenemos que hacer como reacción a una amenaza futura. Creo que tenemos que trabajar instituciones, empresas, sociedad, para hacer que esto sea un modus vivendi, repito.
No, I think so, and you are going forward because you are talking about changing our life model, and
Bueno, no quiero ser tan exagerado, no quiero ser tan, pero sí quizá nuestro modelo productivo, nuestro modelo económico, probablemente.
Yeah, but at the end, our economy is a copy-paste of our lives.
Sí, está
so
claro.
you are right. You are maybe
Claro.
Inspiring a change that should start at home before going forward. Okay, so I like your. Now I'm going with Zoe. So I'm going to ask you something in which I think you have the expertise because you are working in impact zones. So I think that. At the end, these economic zones might be accelerating this sustainability, everything that we have been discussing. Do you think so? Maybe you are in mute.
Zoe,
we cannot hear you. Maybe you are in mute.
Excuse me. Thank you, Christina. Oh, I was worried that was going to happen. Okay, my bad. Thank you very much for the question. Yes, very relevant. We specialize in special economic zone development, and we see special economic zones as the catalyst for sustainable economic growth. And governments can apply or adopt new policies within the zones fairly easily and rapidly, and prove their efficiency, the cost-benefit models, that the benefits are larger than the costs, and then replicate that to the hosting economy. So the zones are actually geographical places in which new policy can be adopted very easily, new infrastructure can be built around sustainable development, sustainable solutions, inviting foreign investors to establish themselves within the zones, bringing in new technologies, R&D, innovation, so accelerating the sustainability profile of a country, so helping the governments as well. So it's a win-win situation in both ways, and also an attractive option for companies to locate, for companies looking at enhancing the sustainability profile in terms of their supply chains as well, and also looking at building resilience in terms of supply chain management, so avoiding a further disruption of supply chains, because companies are now redesigning the supply chain models and looking at different routes, different locations, and therefore the zones provide a very attractive proposition for companies to locate in, because also coming back to collaboration, the zones will bring together all stakeholders involved, from being governments as well as the private sector, as well as other stakeholders, multilateral organizations, and being able to support business cases around logistics and supply chains. So within the new normal, we're seeing an increase of zones being developed. Existing zones are going to enhance their sustainability profile. There's a lot of government funding and institutional funding available to invest into infrastructure around the zones, and also access to funding is larger for sustainable projects. So as soon as there's a sustainability element, we're looking at a larger access to funding. As within the investment world, actually ESG investments, impact investments have recently proven to be more profitable than traditional investments. So this is also an element which we are seeing.
I think that, for example, when we are talking about Silicon Valley, what happened in Silicon Valley, that you have a lot of brains together, you know, influence, it's like the mutual influence, no, each other. So when you are talking about economic zones, at the end you can put a lot of resources because many people working in the same targets, they are together. So it's what you were saying, we can apply RD, no, research and development investment, because there are many actors that are going to take profit with it. So I think that we need to take this as an opportunity, always to look at this and to analyze if it's going to be suitable for you or not, but at least to have the chance to look at it. And okay, for Jamil, now you are the last one. I think that you are really expert in transport, so I think that your question should be about transport. Okay, we know that when we are talking about collaboration, there are a lot of factors that are really innovating the collaboration we are talking that is so nice, so beautiful to be. So which are those factors that are really blocking the development of transport collaboration? You consider that they are maybe impacting more or blocking more the business?
Thank you, Christina. I think it's quite important, the question. We know that is global transportation industry faces major challenges, such as climate change, energy supply, safety and security of citizens. There is a need for effective global cooperation, of course, through harmonized and well-organized collaborative activities, of course, to achieve through innovation and efficient use of resources. The world of globalization making trade across border as simple, efficient, and safe as possible is quite essential for traders, concerned public authorities, and the government as well. Facilitating smooth movement of goods and peoples and keeping borders, of course, open for trade is fundamental. When we are talking about collaboration simply means having multiple working towards the same goal. The transportation industry is unfortunately heavily divided. Because of this, it can be hard for everyone to remember they have been a common goal. Unfortunately, there are a set of barriers inhibiting a closer international cooperation in transportation. And the first one is, of course, politics and the economy have great effects on the transportation industry. The transport industry is ever changing with the new regulations, policies, or capacity issues. There is a lot of uncertainty in the transportation industry with the current issues in the world economy. There are deals to end the traffic or the tariff affecting transport industry. There is the climate change is a hot topic, and change in the transportation could be coming soon. And the natural disasters are increasing everywhere. And the second factor, I think, is institutional diversity in the transport sector, with countries adopting different approaches with respect to user charges and ownership structure, and thereby implementing various approaches to infrastructure investment strategy and financing. And the third one, I think the local government regulations and competitions are the major barriers preventing firms from adopting a global approach to the management of international, of course, distribution system. I think international cooperation in transportation are beneficial for all. Most of the challenges we are facing cannot be solved by individual country.
Yeah, so I think that you have been touching a little bit the key point. No, here governments need to work together. Otherwise, you know, at the end, this is a change. When we are talking about global transport, we need that all. There is a clear support from some governments to others to make this happen. Otherwise, we are blocking. And I could say something related to COVID, but we are now running a little bit tight. So, but maybe in COVID-19 situation, this could be also the key, no? That we need to collaborate together as governments. Otherwise, if we are just islands in the world, that's really difficult. So I think we did it, but now we need to make just a quick summary of all the intervention. You remember the 3 topics you have been given. Your opinions. We have been talking about some key questions that you were really experts. So I think that we have a chance to discuss, to make some words that summarize a little bit every chapter of this forum. I would like just to say, to finalize, because I know that Clara is going to make a quick summary. She's going to give you this last wording that you will remind all the day. But this is the future of the logistics. It's future. So the thing, and the only thing to ask is, are you ready today? So, and that's all. So I think that Clara,
Bueno,
it's your turn.
Puedo ya, ¿no?
Yeah.
Porque, bueno, me ha encantado, la verdad, Cristina, tu entusiasmo. Esta mujer transmite entusiasmo, nos ha entusiasmado. Ella ha ido haciendo resúmenes y me he quedado con unas cuantas de los conceptos que han salido en cada uno de estos 3 hashtags, ¿no?, que lanzábamos, de este futuro de la logística. Sostenible, eficiencia, eficacia, buenas prácticas. Digital, aquí hemos hablado de inteligencia artificial, sobre todo de focalizar con ese Big Data que nos ayuda, ¿no?, a hilar así con precisión. Transparencia, el blockchain, que no acaba de entrar, pero el blockchain nos ayuda, nos lleva a la transparencia, y los drones también están ahí, son el futuro, ya son el presente. Y el ser colaborativo. Es indispensable, sobre todo para el transporte de la última milla. Si no colaboramos, aquí no cambian cosas. Incluso colaborar con mi competidor. Se habló de simbiosis industriales, de co-creación, de compartir espacios, de almacenes multicliente, en fin, economía compartida. Vamos a compartirlo todo. Eso es lo que el COVID quizá ha adelantado, pero bueno, es ese futuro que tenemos a la vuelta de la esquina. Gracias a todos, interesantísimo panel. Y ahora, pues nada, nos vamos a relajar un poquito con Cecilia Tam, con estas charlas inspiracionales. Cecilia Tam, empresaria, experta en tecnología, nos va a hablar de mujer y diversidad en tecnología. Será, nada, dentro de unos minutos, aquí, en BNew. Hasta ahora.